Hello everyone, PedFPS here for the Bloodstorm Warriors, and thank you for tuning in. We've all had a chance to play the Battlefield 5 open beta and see what it's all about. I've been playing for most of the previous week on my own and with friends, and I've been rather enjoying the experience. I've had a good feeling about this game since playing the alphas, and that's been pretty much confirmed now. I've had a chance to use more weapons and play on an extra map. It's not without its hiccups, of course, and some of the things Battlefield 5 brings to the table have been met with a degree of contention from the player base. I'll get into what I might not like later on, but first I want to talk about what this game does well. I'll start off with the first thing you see, and that's the graphics, and of course, this being a Battlefield game, the graphics are stellar. I don't know how they do it, but every Frostbite game manages to look so much better than the one that came previously. There's a welcome amount of colour and life in these maps too. The Rotterdam map is vibrant, and I get a real feeling that I'm fighting in the cosmopolitan heart of the city. Smaller details like bikes still resting on streetlights, coffee cups still on tables, blinking neon signs, and the hastily built barricades built from crates and wagons give you the sense that the war has just come to the city and the fighting has just broken out. Over the course of the round, fortifications are set up and buildings are destroyed, further adding to the immersion. Rotterdam itself is a very well designed infantry map, very reminiscent of Seine Crossing or Amiens. There's a bit more elevation on this map than any other previous Battlefield maps. Areas of the map like the 3-story buildings and the train station make Rotterdam feel like more of a 3D space, much more so than a map like Amiens or Zuritzen. The gunplay has been massively improved from Battlefield 1. The rock, paper, scissors nature of Battlefield 1's gunplay has been more or less replaced with a more Battlefield 4-esque approach. Spread is still there, but it's not nearly as apparent, shall we say, as it was in Battlefield 1. I like this a lot, as it makes gunplay feel more intuitive. It's nice to defend myself at any range, let's put it that way. The headshot multiplier has been increased, suppression has been removed, and recoil is far more controllable and predictable. With these changes, I just feel more lethal, and I can defend myself at pretty much any range. The STG has so far stood out as the best gun in the game. Once you've completed the upgrade tree and put a scope on it, you have a very versatile weapon that doesn't really do any one thing badly. I have a feeling it will get nerfed on release, but having said that, there could be more assault rifles coming that we haven't yet seen, as there were plenty of them in World War II. Aside from the STG, I'm really enjoying the FG42 for the support class, and just using the support class overall. They feel more like big battle rifles and are great fun to run and gun with. Although the bipod bug is rather annoying, the time to kill in Battlefield 5 is lightning quick. I'm generally a fan of the faster time to kill, but there are plenty of players out there who are not. The way I see it is, with attrition, and the fact that at most times you have less ammo, you need that fast time to kill so you don't waste too many bullets. Considering you only have a maximum of 3 magazines, and even less for the snipers, having a time to kill of around 3 to 4 bullets is very much required. Along with the faster gunplay, the movement has been sped up as well. Movement in Battlefield 5 is quick and snappy, and I don't feel like my character has bricks tied to their shoes like in BF1. Sliding has returned, but I'm finding it hard to trigger. The game wants me to crouch run all the time. This is actually quite handy for getting out of a tricky situation such as sniper fire. You can keep a low profile and still move quite quickly. While I don't think this feature will necessarily save your life in a pinch, I still think it's a nice option to have movement wise. This also seems to be a controversial opinion, but I actually really like attrition, and I'm glad DICE had the guts to implement it. It's a challenge that Battlefield hasn't been able to provide since Battlefield 2, and you need to have your brain switched on to overcome it. I think the reason why a lot of players are really hating on attrition right now is because ever since Bad Company 1, you could play as a lone wolf and completely disregard your team and squad mates and top the scoreboards. You've been able to play this way for 12 years worth of Battlefield games, and that hasn't changed once. Attrition can be easily overcome with map knowledge, situational awareness, and sheer FPS skill. It forces you to weigh up the options and take risks. If you're consistently playing the objective, getting more meds and ammo won't be a problem. You carry a bandage, so you can self-heal to full health, and you get it restocked every time you visit a medical station or when you get meds from a medic. Every enemy you kill drops ammo. Not enough ammo as it stands if you ask me, but DICE has said they're looking into it. So if you have the skill to clear areas and drop enemies, then picking up more ammo won't be too much of a hassle. That's all I wanted to say about attrition in this video. Now's the time to move on to what I dislike about the beta. I'll start with general progression. You level up each class, which unlocks your weapons, and you level up each gun individually. Each gun has an upgrade tree where you select upgrades going down a certain branch. Now, I really don't like this system as it feels like a very watered down approach to weapon customization. Every upgrade is just that, an upgrade. There's no trade-off in terms of weapon performance. It's not a completely unbalanced system though, as it only takes 1 round, 2 maximum to fully upgrade each weapon. I just think it's a very shallow form of progression. Cosmetic upgrades are also here and I do like them. Aesthetically they're very in keeping with the theme and atmosphere of the game, but I really think they should be tied to the upgrade tree. So trying a different upgrade grants you a matching cosmetic item. Also, at this point, I really think Battlefield needs to have an inspect weapon feature like CSGO or Call of Duty World War II, so we can properly take a look at our guns in game. One other thing that needs to be addressed is that the sight windows on the reflex sights are really dark and I find them quite tough to use. I do like the aperture and AA sights, so unless the reflex sight gets a change, I'd recommend using them on your guns when the game comes out. This also might seem like a bit of a nitpick, but the voice acting seems a bit off. I can't speak for the German voices, but the British voice lines sound so melodramatic and over the top. There's also an issue on the spawn screen where the game just will not let me spawn in. This only happened to me once in game, but it happened when I was playing in a squad with friends. Squadding up with my friends on Origin has also been problematic, and this has been an issue for ages. It was a problem all the way through Battlefield 1 and is one thing I think desperately needs changing before the full release. Planes, even after the alpha, still just don't work. The Spitfire flies like a boat with wings, whereas the BF-109, comparatively speaking, handles rather well. Compared to Battlefield 1, planes are just not fun to fly. Tanks are still camping away on the fringes of the map. However, I think to a large degree, this could be a bad habit carrying over from Battlefield 1. Once the player base clocks onto the fact that the support class all carry a repair tool as a fortification, then I think tanks might get stuck in a bit more. Player visibility hasn't improved. We were told that enemy player models were going to get a faint outline around them to help with visibility, but that's either not there or it's not enough. Dark corners in this game are really dark, and I find that the German character models blend into the snow, rock and rubble textures on Narvik an awful lot better than the British models do. To finish off, I want to state that this could very easily be the best Battlefield game ever, or at the very least the best of the Frostbite games. And if a large portion of the player base were to take off their rose-tinted glasses, I think they would see that too. DICE do need to win over a lot of people outside the core player base, and that can only be done through clear communication of the game's best features and mechanics. Battlefield 5 has a lot of potential, a lot more than Battlefield 1 ever had. Speaking on a personal level, my taste in games, particularly multiplayer games, has been leaning more and more towards more harder, more challenging territory, and it actually makes me quite happy to see that Battlefield has caught up with that. As I previously mentioned, the best game in the franchise is right here. I really do believe that. And I'm going to leave it there, guys, and I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you have any thoughts on the Battlefield 5 open beta, then by all means leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to read them. So if you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't, feel free to dislike. Subscribe for more epic Battlefield content, and we will see you next time.